Hey guys, welcome back out in the garage. What I want to talk about today is a small block Chevy 350. Okay, some of you might recognize this engine here that's tore down. On my old YouTube channel, we tore down a 350 Chevrolet it was rebuilt like 30 plus years ago, okay? And it was never started, it was never installed in anything. And another gentleman ended up getting it from them like 20 years ago, but hasn't had a chance to do anything with it either. So it just kind of been sitting for all those years. And then a couple years ago, he brought it to me and wanted me to tear it down and just see what's in it, because when he purchased it, they really didn't know what was in it, because I don't know how it all worked, but he got it from someone else, you know, not the original guy that built it, in other words. So hopefully I'm getting all this straight, because like I said, we tore it down a year ago on the old YouTube channel. So I have it all here in the garage. We were storing it over my good friend Frank's, and that's where we tore it down at. So now I have it here, and I want to kind of just update or catch you up to speed of what we found and stuff as we tore it down. Again, it's a fresh rebuild. So everything actually, like the bearings and stuff, are brand new and everything. It's never been ran, like I said. So let me just do this real quick. I'll just do a recap. That's the word I was thinking of. It's kind of like a recap real quick. So it is a 4-bolt main, 350 Chevrolet. I don't want to drop my boring bar. I'll try to move this, turn it around. I should have had it the other way. I know a lot of people like the 4-bolt main stuff. Okay, so stay. So it is a 4-bolt main. Alrighty. You can see it's got brand new main bearings. It's got new cam bearings. They put the plugs in, the drive-in style, but I'm thinking about removing those. I'm gonna remove them anyway because I need to wash this whole block before I ever assembled it. But I'm gonna remove them and go ahead and tap them for threaded plugs. So, and then I need to get that out of there. I don't know why it had the cam in it. I don't know why that must have slid back up there and I can't even move it. But anyway, it is a 4-bolt main. Now I'll kind of show some other little features on it. Crankshaft is 1010, it says. I'm going to go ahead and mic it, of course, to be sure. And then there was we found like a little pit in one of the throws, but it looks like it was in there before they grounded it, but it just didn't clean up, because you can see they polished over it. So I'm going to address that a little bit. If it's kind of iffy, then I may go 20 on the on the rods, and then leave the mains alone, because the mains didn't look bad. But I'm gonna mic it first, so that's gonna tell us what we're really gonna do once I mic it, just to be sure, you know, that we can't always go off of what's written on the end of the crankshaft. Okay, and the rods and pistons, brand new bearings, brand new pistons. Real low compression pistons, brand new rings. Except what I don't like, what we found, this isn't too bad. It is cold in here right now, and it's been sitting for 30 plus years. Okay, this isn't too bad, a little bit of drag. But some of these, let's see if I can find one. Okay, here's another one, about the same. And as you go down this list here, and we numbered them as we took them out, like I said, I want to kind of address, they feel about the same so far like this. Just a little bit snug, but like I said, it could be because it's cold. So I might, now here we go. Now look at this. See, we found some that were kind of spooky on us, so I need to address those. Let's see. Okay, and this is probably the loosest one, to be honest with you. Number 2 there. But this one here, the number 1. Look at that. I don't know if that's from sitting, gummed up or not. I feel we have an issue with this one for sure. So I will go ahead and I might try to clean in there, see if maybe something got gooey. Maybe they used some kind of something. It looks real dry in there. I mean, it doesn't look like it doesn't look dirty or nothing in there. I don't know if you can see in there. Hold on. Oh, I don't know if you can see in there, but it's really clean. So I don't think it's gummed up. And here on the side. So I'm gonna have to press this off, and a lot of us know these cast pistons, especially the ones that don't have flats on the sides, good chance of cracking them. Okay, that's why when we press them off, we're pressing them off and putting new pistons on. Normally you can save them sometimes, but not always. So unfortunately, this is one without the flats and stuff. So you got to have the right fixture to sit in there when you press it. So I'm gonna press it off and see if I can find anything wrong here. And if I don't, maybe I'll put it back on. And if it's still the same way, then we're just gonna change pistons altogether. So this is a low compression piston. He may want to change them all anyway to a more close to a flat top. Even if it's a 4-valve relief, flat top will have more than this 2-valve relief dish, okay? So it might be a good deal maybe to switch them out. And then I'll go ahead and check the size on the rods and everything, the bearings, the whole 9 yards. It had a new timing chain was on it. It is a roller chain, but it's more of a budget roller, but I'm okay with that. All right, so as long as it, degreed in okay, we'll be fine with that. Of course, it just had the stock timing cover. I'll go ahead and clean this up a little better. For sure, going to change the front seal. It's been painted over, and actually it looks, I don't know if it was a new one and they just happened to paint over it or what, but it's got to be dried out some after 30 years, even though it's just been sitting. So that will get changed. Well, I'm going to be changing all the gaskets anyway, so it's going to come in the kit. We kept everything, kept all the rocker arms kind of together with the nut and the ball. Very dry though, so maybe they were figuring they were gonna prime the engine before they ever started it. But I mean, we didn't wash these. Look how clean they are. They're spotless, and so they're dry as could be. So they weren't assembled with any kind of oil, which this style I always, oil or lube the ball for the rocker arm. Okay, so. Again, maybe they was planning on priming it, thinking that the oil's going to give them when they do the priming, because we usually prime the engine anyway before we start it. New millings, high volume pump. A lot of guys are against high volume. Some say always stay standard. This does have a little rust on it in areas, so for sure I'm going to take it back apart, take this off, check it, the whole 9 yards, and see what. Maybe go ahead and take the relief out, make sure it's free. We'll go through this pump for sure, okay? Camshaft. It wasn't a new camshaft. As you can see, it's a used cam. You could tell it was used. So it's probably, and we couldn't find no numbers to help us determine what it is, so I'm thinking it's just a factory one. So for sure, we're gonna change this out, and most likely, he will get a little bit more of a performance camshaft. I mean, if we're gonna change it out, it doesn't hurt to, go a little more. Okay, I'm not saying get a radical cam, but maybe we'll step up a little bit from the stock one. Okay, depending on how the build goes, because if he goes with flat top, he'll have a little more compression because those are open chambered heads. So he can run a little more cam but it's his call. All the hardware, of course, was just stock, but that's fine. All pan stock, it's beat up pretty good, but as long as it doesn't leak. The heads have all brand new. They got, you can see it from there, all brand new valves, so that part was good. This side, everything's clean, looks really good. Okay, just dusty, but if we change the cam, of course, depending on what we do, we may want to get different hardware. We can use the valves, of course. I'm sure those valves will be fine, but maybe the spring or something might want to match the camshaft. But of course, I'm tearing those down and checking the whole valve job as it is. I mean, we're not going to just blow them off and run them like that. I'm going to tear them all the way down, check the guide, check the seats, go ahead and check the valves anyway, even though they're new, and then set them back up for the new cam. So I probably won't finish building the cylinder heads until I find out if he wants us to change the camshaft. Okay, what else is there? It had the get over here. I'm weak today too, so it had the cast iron Quadajet old intake manifold. He may want to get a nice little aluminum intake. We can make this a pretty good budget build because he's got everything basically here. So even if he changes pistons, he doesn't have to get a high dollar piston. It just, he can get a nice flat top or even another dish if we have to. But I have a feeling we're gonna have to change those. They just feel something about them. I know you can't feel them in the camera, but there's just something about them that doesn't feel right. And I've hung a lot of rods and pistons before, so. And the crank, like I say, it's already done. If it mics in good, I may just put a polish on it. If that little pit thing doesn't bother me. And so overall, he could make a really nice build out of this. The heads, it looked like somebody, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but they kind of went in here. Nah, you're not gonna be able to see it, there's not enough lighting. And they did hit it with like a carbide, like they were taking a little bit of the rough edge off of it. So, but anyway, forgot I had my better jacket on. I should have had my hoodie on. But anyway, that's everything. Everything was orange though. So, valve covers were mismatched. That was just for delivery, for shipping or delivery or what, so we're not worried about that. I don't know what else to bring up. So that's about it. So anyway, that's the kind of a recap of what we had going on. I want to go ahead and mic the bores. So if we, either way, if we use these pistons and I can correct them, or if we get new ones, I'm still going to go in there and mic the bores, mic the pistons. I may have to do a little more honing on them or whatever. So I am going to have to probably change the cam bearings because I gotta remove all this to wash the block. And I want to tap these up here. I'm gonna have to drive that. I don't know why that thing's stuck in there, but so to clean it, the best way to clean it is to have the cam bearings out. I know a lot of times if it's just like this is clean, you know, as far as you know, just been tore down from a vehicle that's been on the road for 100 something thousand miles, you know, road dirt and everything, oil leaks and all that. This has been cleaned, but I still want to knock the cam bearings out. I'll feel a lot better so when I do the cleaning. Especially on these small like Chevrolets, because they're grooved all the way around on the casting of the cam bore, or the journal, you know, the journal itself. So you can get stuff stuck up in there, some crud and everything. So I'm gonna knock those out, and then yeah, maybe check some other little things out on it. But I'll keep everybody posted. So this is coming up. This I was hoping I was gonna. When I went on my little trip a few months ago, I was hoping this one was going with me, but it didn't happen. So we'll be on this one. So I'll have to get a hold of him and find out what he might want to do as far as the pistons, the camshaft. If he does want to change the intake manifold, or he can do that kind of like the intake he can do himself if he wants to, or I'll do it here. It doesn't matter. But anyway, like I say, and I think that chain will be fine as long as it dials in okay. So anyway, that's that, and kind of talked really fast on this one probably, but again, it was on my old YouTube, and we did a lot of talking. That one was like an hour long or something. We tore it down. We did all kinds of talking and everything. So that is it. So there is a 350 Chevy build going to be happening here in the garage, and I'll be showing as I move along on it. I'll show you what's going on. Okay. All right, guys. Be safe out there. I'll catch you on the next round. Thanks.